Alrighty, this is Ken Shamrock, the world's most dangerous man. You're listening to WNS.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
Take 3.
I'm Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 291 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
You can find us on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, and Player.fm. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
The podcast is on Twitter at WNS Podcast. Daniel's at WNS_Daniel, and Tyler is at Tyler_Abear.
Or is he?
No.
Got locked out of his account, doesn't know the password.
Nope.
I'm sure you can easily reset it, so don't worry.
Yeah.
We can get you back in the game.
I haven't done that, though.
Not yet. Not yet. But you will. And it's going to be great. So welcome to the show. We have a ton of stuff to talk about this week. We're going to talk about Backlash, Raw, Smackdown, maybe Lucha Underground, Cruiserweight Classic, some hot topics as well. All that good stuff. Maybe some more. Who knows?
Who knows?
So welcome to the show. How you guys doing?
Aight.
Yeah?
Just aight.
Just aight. All right, Doug, how are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah? We just got done. We actually waited a little bit to record this show so that we could catch the Cruiserweight Classic, the finale. What a show! The whole series was great. Great action, great matches, spectacular matches, I should say. So if you have the network and you have not seen the Cruiserweight Classic, you owe it to yourself as a wrestling fan to check out the Cruiserweight Classic because, damn, that's all.
Do you think those people exist?
People who have the network and have not watched the Classic?
Yeah.
I'd say in the however many million people that have the network, there's got to be at least one. So
I mean, I have no doubt that there are some, but I mean, do you think that's a significant number? I mean, I guess it could be. I could see people who have it just
for the pay-per-views,
for the special events.
Yeah.
Sure, I guess that's true.
You never know. But for those of you who do not have the network, make sure you get it just so you can watch that. I mean, heck, get your free month and just binge watch it all. That's a good way to do it. So let's talk about the Cruiserweight Classic since it's fresh on our minds. Overall, all of the episodes put together, what did you guys think?
I mean, I think it's a success. I like some of the chances they took with the presentation. Some of the little stuff just from
the handshakes and
the more like the presentation of the winner where they have both guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that I necessarily need to see that on Raw and SmackDown every week, but sure. I appreciate the differences, like sets it apart. It's like a bunch of little things that add up to a different presentation that makes you feel like you're watching a fresh show. It didn't feel like you were watching a WWE show, and that's not just because up until this point they were all unsigned talent, which they've signed a lot of them at this point, but it didn't feel like a different show just because it was a bunch of unsigned guys. They did a lot of different things differently with the presentation. They took some chances. They didn't try to do anything too gimmicky. Largely all the quote-unquote storylines were like sort of like emotional beats for the guys that participated. Like Kendrick, he's an older guy. This is his last shot. And
Cinderella story.
Yeah, like that's the sort of stories they told. And it's sort of refreshing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think overall it's a success, and obviously I think they're going to keep going with it. They said inaugural, so I'm sure we'll have one.
Yeah,
sure,
I'm hoping that, and I know that they're planning on doing a Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic again.
Right.
So that'll be something to look forward to on the network at a later date. So yeah, bringing back the Cruiserweight Classic is going to be.
It'd be like a yearly thing?
I think so. Or maybe they'll alternate, sort of like how they do the Olympics, where it's like this year is going to be the Winter Games, then 2 years down the road it's going to be the Summer Games, and then alternate. So I'd be fine with that if they did sort of a yearly thing.
There was some talk of them doing a women's tournament.
Oh.
I don't know if that's just rumors with a Z or if there's anything to that.
I'd be intrigued to watch that as well. See what female talent around the world they could bring in, and have them shine. So Tyler, we'll go to you. What did you think overall of the Cruiserweight Classic?
From what I caught, because I didn't get to watch every episode,
sure.
It was very entertaining, and it's from the presentation to the wrestling style and just everything on the show in general is just a nice change and very fun, very entertaining, and very welcomed.
Yeah,
in my opinion. So
a breath of fresh air, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean, another thing I think that is noteworthy is guys who were not used to their potential in other companies and sort of, I mean, it has to be like those companies now have to be looking at themselves and like, and maybe they're not, maybe that's how mismanaged some of these companies are, but they have to be looking at themselves and saying, well, look what they were able to accomplish just letting these guys sort of do their thing, and why did we miss the boat so much on some of these guys?
Yeah,
that's not just a TNA thing, that's like an ROH thing.
Yeah, Cedric for Cedric.
Yeah, these are guys that are, not all of them, but there are at least a handful that have been misused or underutilized in other companies that WWE fully capitalized on.
Absolutely.
And that's Cedric Alexander, like Tyler said. That's TJP who won the thing. Obviously, I'm sure there's someone else if I put a little more thought into it.
Yeah. So TJ Perkins, the official winner of the Cruiserweight Classic. Tyler, what did you think about? I know whenever they first unveiled the new belt, you were quite fond of it.
Oh, I flipped out. It was really cool. I mean, I like the color for sure, and even though it has the color of the Jeff Hardy Mardi Gras belt, it's way better than that.
At least the faceplate is nice.
It's nice. And,
it goes with the color scheme of the whole thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
Evolve.
That's true. And it's just really cool. And actually, right now it's one of my favorite titles. That's for WWE.
Yeah. So, I mean, the semifinal matches: Grand Metalik defeats Zack Sabre Jr. T.J. Perkins defeats Kota Ibushi in what many were claiming was a shocker. But to Doug's theory, well, not necessarily theory, it's
I don't think it's a theory. I think it's just what happened.
It's hard to argue against.
Obviously, Zack Sabre Jr. and Kota Ibushi were the two biggest quote unquote stars coming in. They were the most well known guys probably coming into the tournament. They were, I assume, who everyone expected to be the finals to come down to, these two guys, but I don't think it's a theory. I think it's just they didn't sign the contracts, and I mean, they shouldn't have been put over to walk out the door and go bring that exposure and prestige to wherever they're going to go from there.
Yeah. Thanks for the title. I'm going to go.
Right. It's the.
Thanks for dinner. Love to stay and chat, but
Yeah, I mean,
the road's calling.
It's booking 101. You put your guys over. Like if that's that's not a struggle. So obviously they put over the guys who are going to be on Raw every week.
Yeah.
So that's smart or at least not dumb.
Logical.
Yes.
So we also got to see a bonus match: Tommaso Ciampa teaming up with Johnny Gargano, going up against Cedric Alexander and Noam Dar.
DIY.
Yeah, Team DIY. Excuse me.
Do it yourself.
Just another fine matchup. Great spots in it. I'm really looking forward to the Cruiserweight division on Raw. It's gonna bring that excitement up a little bit. And
I'm excited, but I'm also a little cautious.
Yeah, because we know how Raw is run, and are they gonna do similar style from the Cruiserweight Classic just for the Cruiserweight division on Raw, or is it going to be Raw produced? They come out, get in the ring, have their match, 5-minute match or whatever. And
I mean, honestly, guys, I hate to come off of the high of the fun of this tournament and being excited about all these guys and their prospects for the future, but I would temper my expectations like going in. I mean, I think cautious optimism is the way to go here. Like, understand you're not going to get that presentation on Raw.
Yeah, Yep.
And the excitement of Morrow and Daniel Bryan feeding off of one another, you're not really going to get that. You know, Corey Graves will do a fine job, Byron will do okay, and then you've got Michael Cole, who, you know, when he's focused, can do a solid job as commentator, but let's face it, he's no Morrow. So, but I am excited. I'm glad to see such young, new, fresh talent get a chance to show what they can do on a national level. I know we've talked about this in the past with NXT, about certain gimmicks getting over with that particular crowd. They get to see the talent on a weekly basis, so they know the characters very well, but then they get called up to the main roster, and it kind of fizzles out because they just can't connect with every city that they go to, and they end up fizzling out. So do you guys think that the cruiserweights are going to have this same issue, or do you think they're going to allow the cruiserweights to have those 10, 15-minute matches where they can just go balls to the wall the whole time? And
well, I think the success and the failure of NXT call-ups is two different stories. They sort of fall along two different lines. There are people that had gimmicks that have ceilings that got over in a small crowd, that once a larger crowd got to look at it, didn't resonate with everyone, or was never really destined to be taken all that seriously. It just the crowd that they did have sort of took it and ran with it. Mm-hmm. And then there are guys who don't really have those types of gimmicks, but may or may not get the opportunities to do what they do to get themselves over in NXT. And I think no one in this tournament has a gimmick with a ceiling on it. They're all just the people that they are. So their success, I think, is going to be large. I mean, we were sort of talking about that at the very beginning of the show. Like, how many people do you think have the network who are watching this? I think it's a pretty.
I would love to have like some numbers game where it's like, hey, how many people were actually watching this who also watch Raw?
Yeah, unfortunately, the only numbers we see are like total number of subscribers and not what are like most watched shows and stuff like that. So I don't know how many people. I don't know what portion of the Raw audience is familiar with these guys, and I would venture to say even less people are familiar with these guys than are familiar with NXT guys. And we've seen sort of like a hit or miss, not hit or miss, but we've seen sort of a varied level of familiarity with people coming up. Mm-hmm. So who knows if the majority of the people are going to know who the fuck these guys are, but I think they can get over if they are given the opportunity to wrestle their style. I mean, it seems like the majority of the audience like appreciates like athletic, high spot wrestling, which is what these guys do. Yeah. And so if they're given the opportunity to do that, then
fast-paced,
sure
high
they can get
action.
themselves over.
And they have, at least WWE has put together like the small little video packages, highlighting the cruiserweights. Hey, here's a couple of them. Here's what they're all about. And one of the things that the Cruiserweight Classic got right is before every match, you saw the video packages where they're talking about, hey, here's why I'm here. Here's what I'm looking to do. It didn't have to be a whole lot. It's just a 2 or 3 minute video. This is where I've worked. This is what I've done. This is why I want to win this thing. You can simply do that for Raw. I mean, they've got a 3-hour show, so I'm pretty sure they'd be okay giving up, 6 minutes total to highlight, to put some focus on 2 guys.
At the very least, the first few weeks to a month, you have to give the people who haven't seen these guys some reason to connect or understand or just gain some familiarity with them. So you almost, I would hope that they would do one for every guy at least going in, but who knows?
Yeah, the last thing I want to see them do is have them debut by just showing a video package like they did with Kurt Hawkins. Like they had hyped up for weeks. Oh, Kurt Hawkins is coming. Oh, Kurt Hawkins debuts this week. And then it's a video package, him looking upside down, you just looking at his ass. That to me automatically just killed him. I don't know about you guys, but
I don't know that I felt like there was anything there to kill, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true too. But I would like to, in the grand scheme of things, I would like to have just a one-on-one matchup featuring 2 of the cruiserweights. They get a little video package. The next week, 2 new guys come in. We get a nice little video package. That way, you spread it out over time. You're not taking up a whole lot of time focusing on everybody. But over the course of time, you end up getting your goal met.
It's going to take a few weeks to get everyone a little airtime.
Yeah. So, but overall, the Cruiserweight Classic, I enjoyed the hell out of it. Highly recommend people checking it out. This past weekend, however,
if there was one thing that I would say is a little bit of a miss, is the sort of forced the country thing. I felt like it was a little bit forced. Like they sort of had people, they ultimately represented countries. I guess that was like their nationality, but it's not actually where they reside or anything.
Right.
So it felt a little forced. It sort of felt like
representing this country.
We need a Filipino guy, so TJP, even though you're born and raised in the USA, you represent, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. It's just sort of like it felt a little forced because it felt like they're trying to oversell the international flavor of it. And while we had Japanese dudes, we had Mexican dudes, we had European dudes, we had USA dudes. Mm-hmm. While we already had all that flavor without having to be like, he technically represents this country, even though that was a little bit.
So there you go. All talents from all over the world wanted to join in on this, and similar to the Olympics, there's people who live in the United States who play for their home country.
But there was legitimately enough international flavor without having to like manufacture extra international flavor.
You didn't have to add that little extra,
right?
Whatever. But yeah, I mean overall. Cruiserweight Classic is a success. Stroke Triple H's ego once again. Look what I created. All that good jazz that we've talked about.
Did you think he was going to miss an opportunity to make this about himself?
Absolutely not. So he got to debut the belt, put over the importance of the tournament and all that. Look at all the great stuff he's done.
Look at my cock.
You say sledgehammer, man.
Oh, sorry. All right. If you,
if you want to look at Triple H's dick, go ahead. But.
If you want to see your dick, all right.
So over the weekend, we got together, got to watch a little UFC, the debut of one CM Punk. Got his MMA fight on. Unfortunately, came up a little short, as many people were expecting. What I found really interesting is how many haters, like how many negative comments were directed towards him. Not necessarily from MMA fans. It was the wrestling fans that kind of took me by surprise.
I think there's a lot of people in general.
Yeah, I think it did come from both sides. I think it's just because we're so in the wrestling bubble. Sure. We saw a lot of the wrestling side of it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I cut you off, Tyler.
No, that's about it.
Look, I get the MMA purist side of this. I can understand where an MMA purist is coming from, where they're like, this guy hasn't quote unquote earned the right to be here. This guy is not a good enough fighter to be here. I can appreciate that opinion just because I know, just to bring it back to wrestling, I know like when I'm watching Raw and I've got to see like them do something with like Shaq, where Shaq's going to wrestle someone or something like that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's just not why I'm here. That's not what I want to see. So I can identify with MMA purists who are like, this guy, this is not what I tuned in to see. I don't want him here.
Right.
But I mean, much like when someone I don't want to see is in the WWE, it's the WWE's fault and not that person. They're just capitalizing on an opportunity. Mm-hmm. Just like the same thing with Punk. It's like, they
brought him in as a special attraction.
Yeah, your problem is with the UFC and not Punk. And I was hoping personally, I feel like there is a little more cross appeal between like wrestling and MMA than like sports with like balls and running and shit than and fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though I'm just being real.
Sure.
Honestly, if there's like a Venn diagram of wrestling fans and MMA fans, obviously it's not 100% overlap in circles, but I feel like the overlap that is there is much larger than that, and other things. So while I can see why some people aren't happy, I personally, I as a fan of wrestling, as a fan of Punk, I wanted to see him do well. He didn't do very well at all. And
he charged in.
Sure.
And that just not a smart tactic, but whatever.
Yeah, but there was a lot of hate. I mean, I guess
the thing for me, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
go ahead.
The thing for me was, okay, look, if I were to say, hey guys, I want to get into the world of professional wrestling. I want to be a wrestler. And so I sit there and I train for a little bit. And while I'm training, Vince McMahon calls me and says, hey, we'd like to put you on WrestleMania. We would like to have your first match at WrestleMania. There's no way you're saying no to that. It doesn't matter if it's, well, I haven't had a whole lot of time to train or, it's something. If someone approaches me and says, hey, we'll give you $200,000, hey, we'll give you $500,000 to go and, be on this card for us because of who you are, hell yeah, I'm taking that money. I'm signing up for it. So that's what it was. A lot of people lose their first fight, but they don't do it on that large of a scale. It was purely to bring in the name CM Punk and anyone who follows that particular name. And it completely worked.
Yeah.
Because the numbers came back and they were great for UFC.
I mean, I didn't see the numbers, but I have no doubt that he was there to be a draw, and I'm sure he moved the needle in a significant enough fashion that he justified his pay.
Yeah.
So I don't have any problem with that. It's hard to. I mean, I see the humor. Trust me, I see the humor in a guy like him going and taking like a spot on a UFC card. Whenever a big gripe of his own was like part-timers taking his spot.
Right.
I can see the humor in that, obviously. But it's what he wanted to do. I don't really hold it against him.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's
I mean, like you said, a lot of people lose their first fights. Maybe not as spectacular a fashion as he lost his fight, but
right.
I mean,
like for example, I just did, my very first attempt at color commentary a couple of weeks ago. So if someone had called and said, "Hey, we want you to call WrestleMania," I'd be like, all right. I mean, I'll do it, but don't expect too much.
Yeah.
So, or for the sports fans, if you've got your kid going into whatever sport it is, and then NFL coach or Major League Baseball coach or whatever coach comes down and says, "Hey, I want your kid to play for my team," you're like, well, that's kind of stupid because he's not up to that level yet. We'll give you $500,000. All right, go ahead, do it.
I read that's what Punk got, $500,000, and then Mickey Gall got $35,000.
Well, more people are tuning in to see CM Punk fight than Mickey Gall fight.
Yeah, for sure.
He starts at his base was 500,000. He may have like points on the paper or something like that.
All the stuff that he got money for that, and I'm pretty sure he got money for being in the game.
Yep. Endorsements. All that stuff.
The thing about this, and this is a really good point that I heard Meltzer make, is that while you may not appreciate him as a MMA purist, those guys on that card were happy to have him on that card because that raises their pay.
A lot of extra eyes on those guys.
Yeah,
with that jumping sidekick.
Like Stipe and Overeem, their pay is better because Punk was on that card.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you don't like that he was there, fighters on the card who had points on the pay-per-view benefited from him being a draw on the card.
Mm-hmm. And didn't Brock Lesnar lose his first MMA fight? I want to say he did. And then he went on that tear.
Yeah, he lost to. Well, he held his own against Mir, and then he got caught by a leg lock. Punk got dominated. There's no fuss about it. Like he got completely outclassed.
And it was. Sorry, go ahead.
There was articles I read that it was like Dana White was like, "Yeah, CM Punk's next fight should be somewhere else."
His first fight should have been somewhere else, but they did it to draw in the money. So, Dana White can say whatever he wants about it. It's like you knew what you were getting into.
Yeah, he
wasn't going to come
deal.
in. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh well, I forgot.
Where do you see him going from here?
Bellator probably.
Yeah.
They like the freak side fight of fighting a little more than UFC
Yeah,
does.
he'll come out like more like a wrestling entrance.
Yeah. I was glad that he came out to Cult of Personality. That was a nice touch.
I could see him doing Bellator. He says he's not done, so
Yeah, he signed like a 3-fight deal to UFC.
they have. I'm sure they have options like out of it. Though.
Sure.
Yeah. Because he drew for this pay-per-view, and then people saw him get dominated. If he has another match, will people still go watch him? I mean, some will, but not to that big of a draw as the first time.
And that's one of the things where UFC knew what they were getting. They knew it was sort of a one-time. We're going to entice the people. And if Punk wins, hey, we win on that situation because people are going to pay to see him again. But if he loses, the guy's never had a fight before.
In all honesty, I on this very podcast, you can go. I don't know when the fuck it was, but whenever the news was announced, I said on this very podcast he was going to win his first fight because I thought, fight booking 101 is you put him up with someone you're sure he can beat, even if it's someone just as shitty as he is. Like, you build him up a couple of matches till you get like a money match that he can like talk people in the building for. Yeah. And that's obviously not what they did. They put him up against someone who's better than him. So.
I remember what I was going to say earlier. I watched all of the documentary, and when I was watching it and he had his first sparring session, he tapped out. So I was like, oh, he's got to work on submissions and counters as opposed to the ground and pound or anything like that, because that was the very first thing he lost in, and he struggled with it in all of the other videos. And so how does he lose? By submission. So I was like, man, it was kind of like...
He sort of got toyed with, though, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean...
It was a poor... There's no way... I like Punk. I wanted him to do well. I was a little bummed that he didn't do well. Mm-hmm. I wanted him to succeed just because of the people that were so passionately against it, just to like sort of throw it in their faces. Yeah. But there's no getting around it. He sort of just he outclassed completely.
He charged in, got taken down.
Well, he said that, I read an article, it was like, well, they don't have too many tapes on him because he had, 2 fights.
Yeah.
But he goes, no one is, what did he say? He said,
he tried to throw him off because no one's charged him.
Yeah,
they waited, they all waited around for him to find his rhythm, so he was hoping that it would throw him off.
What Mickey said about that, he goes, man, just instincts kicked in after he rushed me and stuff. So,
I mean, you got to applaud Punk. He set out a goal. He accomplished his goal. It didn't end the way he wanted. He took it with class. He didn't make excuses. He was like, look, I got my ass handed to me, but, I got knocked down and I got back up.
There's websites that post all the tweets from the UFC people and stuff like that, of the fighters, and a lot of them were giving props for stepping in there, and some of them was like, this is pathetic and all that stuff, and blah, blah, blah.
I mean, look, I don't feel bad for Punk. I mean, even in like such sound defeat, I don't feel bad for him. He made a lot of money.
$500,000.
He's doing his dream.
I don't feel bad.
Even if it's his new dream, he's living his new dream. He's making a lot of money. So I don't feel bad for him, but I do feel like, I know there's a lot of people that said, well, it's not bravery, it's not courage, because I will go in there on no training and make what he made for the fight. And I'm sure a lot of people would just stand up and get your
ass handed to you.
Get concussed just for that money. But, but in all honesty, there are some people who are talking that shit who would never do it. Even there were people who were saying they would do it for $500,000.
Don't hit me.
Who would cower out before they ever got to there, and that's just the truth. It's just the truth. Not that everyone would. There were some people who will take brain damage for $500,000.
Yeah.
But some of the people are acting like they would for sure.
Doug, it's okay because I got the $500K.
Man, like when all that stuff was going on, man, I had my hands on my head and I was like, no, he's gonna tap, he's gonna tap.
I mean, he held on for a while, so
yeah.
At least he tried.
I think he sort of got toyed with a little bit. I don't know if he was holding on as much as Mickey was playing with him, but
yeah. I did chuckle a bit at the Kayfabe News Facebook page where it was like CM Punk successfully puts over the new kid or something like that. It's like classic storytelling. He did the right thing. He jobbed out.
Did you think this is true that on the pay-per-view they said that they were taking a shot at Punk fight, whatever, when it was Dolph Ziggler and Miz.
If they did, I didn't catch it.
I thought a little bit about it, and I was like, huh, that's a little weird, because it was that flip to the ground, and what was it? That headlock. I forgot what they said it was. I don't know. That's what people on the...
I don't know. I don't recall that. But yeah, I mean, he did what he did. Unfortunately, it didn't go his way. He'll go back to training, have another fight, and I'm sure we'll watch that one as well. So,
I'll always support him.
Available to us.
Yeah. We'll find a sports bar to watch it.
Bellator's free.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So, all in all, not too bad. And then Sunday, got to check out Backlash. Surprisingly, pretty good. Although I was like exhausted, so I was falling asleep through some of it. But overall, I enjoyed Backlash. I did not think that show was going to go 3 hours. They did cut it a little short, but
well, that show shouldn't have gone 3 hours.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, if you've got a 3 hour show, a 3 hour pay-per-view for your 2 hour weekly show, how the fuck can you not find room for Cruz and fucking Baron Corbin on the main card? How you got a 3 hour fucking show and you can't find?
But they have a kickoff show that they have to film.
Because how long?
It's mostly
also,
talk anyway. It's mostly talk.
They knew about Orton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the report had come out.
Don't worry. You can take him out, and Bray, you can have a match with Kane.
God, that was awful.
I don't know how the fuck you can't find this room for these guys on the main card, but
hey, man, we have to put Kane over.
It is what it is, I guess.
I mean, once the report came out that Randy Orton was not going to be able to compete, that he is dealing with an injury or whatever, they should have bumped Corbin and Apollo Crews to the main card.
No, man, they got to.
I know.
Even with Kane,
because they cut
room for another.
They
match.
cut the pay-per-view off probably like 15 minutes early, somewhere around there. 15 minutes early. So that was enough time to have the Baron Corbin Apollo Crews match. But anyways, the kickoff match, Baron Corbin defeats Apollo Crews. What do you guys think about these two?
It was fine. Both these guys seem very directionless. And I guess they're going to put the two directionless guys together and hope to find some direction.
As long as Apollo Crews can have fun and smile and spell things. Yeah. Becky Lynch became the very first SmackDown Women's Champion after defeating Natalya, Naomi, Nikki Bella, Alexa Bliss, and Carmella in the 6 women's elimination match.
I thought this was surprisingly good. I thought all the women worked really hard. Matches like this are usually a clusterfuck, but they seem to structure it well enough to where everyone sort of got their shine in their signature spots.
Mm-hmm.
I think Becky's the right person to win. I have no problems with this whatsoever.
I think once the eliminations started, the eliminations came kind of too quick after one another. I would like for them to have spaced it out just a little bit longer, give them an extra 5 minutes to work. But what was it?
Hey, it's not easy to lay out a 6-person match.
No, it is not. But I mean, you had like Nikki Bella immediately followed by Carmella, I believe, something along those lines. There were 2 of the women that got eliminated fairly quickly. But all in all, yeah, like you said, they stepped up. They delivered a really solid matchup.
Yeah, I don't think anyone ended up looking really bad and out of place, even though Carmella's not very good and Alexa's still very new. Everyone held their own for what they were given to do, and it was fine. They hid any major weaknesses some of these women had. So
yeah. Tyler, any thoughts on that?
No.
Okay. After that, we got to see the Usos go up against the Hype Bros. Second chance matchup to advance to the tournament finals. Usos coming out wearing the black. They've changed.
New look. They don't do the tribal dance.
Mm-hmm. New look, new attitude. They'll probably need to change the Titantrons and all that to match with it, because they still did the go hard in the paint.
They even had different gear on SmackDown than
yeah.
Because the Backlash gear was just sort of a less colorful, more like their normal gear.
Well, no, it was straight. It was the black, very reflective black too.
Well, like they had even like a more drastically different look on SmackDown even by the time they got there. So
Yeah, they had
like those pants with like
the red trim or the red tights, and one of them had a shirt on.
Well, they're both wearing long pants, and they got those pants with like the elastic around the bottom and stuff like that. And yeah, different look. I mean,
which is good.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's what you're supposed to do whenever you go through a change like that. You edit your appearance just a little bit. The Usos going up against the Hype Bros. Any thoughts on the matchup?
not really. It was fine for what it was. They had accomplished furthering the Usos as heels, and that's I guess where they're going. So I did expect the American Alpha appearance at some point on the pay-per-view.
Me too.
Or at least a Jordan appearance. But,
Yeah.
we didn't get that. So
You know what? They didn't stay hyped. The Hype Bros.
They couldn't because Usos attacked Zack Ryder in the leg, forced him to submit. One of the things that I didn't like was the carryover between this match and their match on SmackDown, where Zack Ryder wasn't really favoring his leg at all. I don't know if you guys caught that or not.
I've seen a lot of wrestling between then and now.
Because they did the same maneuver to Chad Gable,
Right.
took him off the shelf.
Right.
They do it here, and then they wrestle them again on Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I feel like it's one of those things where it may not necessarily, break everyone's leg. It's just
Sure.
sort of their
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of
they're
those.
attempting. Because even if I broke Tyler's leg on purpose, and I could try to break your leg, and it may not necessarily work.
It ain't gonna happen. I've had too much milk. Got that calcium going. Anyway,
I feel like the first 20 years of my life, I OD'd on milk. And now I'm lactose intolerant. I can't drink the shit.
oh,
Yeah.
that's sad.
Oh, dude.
So you could probably break my legs pretty easily. Funny enough, I never had a broken bone in my entire life.
Yeah, keep
Knock
knocking on that
fucking
wood.
Never had a broken.
I've fractured, but I've never broken.
I think I broke my nose because it's a little crooked. But as far as an arm, a leg, a finger, nothing like that.
I had a fractured bone in my left wrist, and then I had a fractured middle toe on my right foot. I walked into a chair. It was painful.
Yeah, my nose is I called it elbow grab assing and used to work in Blockbuster, and when we would close it down, we would used to get into these grab assy sort of wrestling matches, and then I caught an elbow on a a go behind a waistlock. I was going behind waistlocking on a dude, caught me with an elbow, and felt like my shit's been crooked ever since. So.
Yeah, I had a busted nose the very first day of baseball practice that I ever did. I put my hand up, my glove up to catch the ball. Ball went into the glove, went right into my nose, and
Bonk.
blood everywhere, and not fun.
Collarbone.
Collarbone? Here? Oh, that you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You broke a collarbone?
Yeah.
When?
When I was a little kid.
Okay.
My sister did it.
It's very Randy Orton of you.
Yeah. I was on the ground, and I was punching the ground, and I broke my collarbone.
You're getting ready to strike. So anyway, the Usos end up getting the victory over the Hype Bros in advance. After that, we got to see a very competitive match between Miz and Dolph Ziggler. We talked about how they just completely took all the air out from underneath Miz. I felt like he really got a chance to shine in this matchup. He did a fine job going up against Ziggler.
He worked hard. They're apparently going back to the Daniel Bryan stuff. He mimicked him in the match, which Otunga correctly pointed out, and Morrow tried to downplay it and go with some other stuff, and then he did even more Daniel Bryan stuff, and then he's like, "Nah, I think he's doing the Daniel Bryan shit." But
sending a message.
It's weird because they can't wrestle each other, so I wonder where they're gonna go.
Oh, yeah, where they're going to go with that.
It sort of sucks that Ziggler's the stand-in for Daniel Bryan. It doesn't feel doesn't feel right. I don't know.
So he's going to have his former tag team partner and hug it out buddy Kane take the duty. whatever.
Sure.
So, any thoughts on the matchup
Not
as a
really.
whole? Nah. Earlier in the night, we got to see Bray Wyatt attack Randy Orton backstage because, like we said, Orton was suffering from an injury. Before the pay-per-view, they did a count-out, which is nice because whatever. And then they were like, well, hang on a second. We've got time to fill. So you're going to have a match right now against Kane. And then Orton comes out during the match and limps his way to the ring.
He's hurt where he can't wrestle, but he can still do RKO.
He's so hurt, but he can sprint into the ring once he gets close enough.
He's legitimately, it's not a quote unquote he's hurt. He's legitimately not cleared to wrestle.
Yeah, and I heard it's like a concussion. And if that's the case, should he really be giving RKOs?
No.
Nope, that is a bump that will rattle your brain around just like a flat back bump. It's not that much different than a flat back bump. You're still, his brain's getting rattled.
I could do this. I'll just do an RKO.
I'll do this and I'll just sit out for a month.
And if it's true, I mean the word is that he's still suffering from the concussion that he received by getting the hard way split open by Lesnar, the fucking raining elbows into his dome. So. First of all,
to be fair, it was just one elbow.
First of all, if we're so concussion awareness is a thing, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be. I'm not saying like, oh well, this stupid concussion. I'm saying like, if we're supposed to be really looking out for this concussion shit. A, why is Lesnar elbowing dudes in the head at full force? And B, why is he out there throwing like RKOs and taking bumps and rattling his shit around on his head?
Lesnar can get away with anything.
Well, no, it's not that Lesnar did it on his own.
He does what he wants.
That's what they wanted him to do, and he did it.
No, I'm tough. I can
Lesnar
take
look
it.
like the kind of guy who's gonna refuse elbowing someone in the head? No.
Like, hey man.
Okay, well,
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you might give him one for free.
Okay, hey, we're gonna make this a good match. Lesnar, do your MMA stuff. Orton, you want to take an elbow to? Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, just pay me a little more. I'll take an elbow to a head.
You guys stitch me up afterwards. And we'll be all right.
Supposedly he wrestled a tag match with Cena on the house show, and he didn't take any bumps like Cena did all the work, but he still tagged in, and the finish was him hitting an RKO, which is still fucking rattling his brain around. If he has a concussion,
Also,
he shouldn't be doing
SmackDown,
that.
he did an RKO.
If he has a concussion, he should not be doing RKOs.
I'm sorry, but isn't the protocol that if you're suffering from a concussion, you're off the shelf for at least 2 or 3 weeks?
He's different. He's a higher talent, right? They have. I don't know.
I think what Daniel's getting at is the hypocrisy between like Daniel Bryan, you'll never wrestle again, even though you have like 100 doctors who will clear you, and Randy Orton, we're gonna be real hush hush about this concussion and have you.
You're
go out
just
there.
injured.
Yeah.
Oh, my leg.
It's an
I
undisclosed.
have a big
injury.
headache.
Whatever.
My brain hurted.
But no,
it.
they've got to tell the importance of this Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton feud.
Your brain hurted it.
Just to talk about the match. If Orton's out of the match, I understand if you're doing something with Orton, like Bray may have to lose there to tell your story. There's no fucking reason on this earth why Bray has to lose to fucking Kane.
Yeah.
There's no fucking, you can have Bray pin Kane and then Orton can hobble his concussed ass out there and give an RKO after the pinfall.
Why? Because
there's no reason he should lose.
There's no reason. There was
He shouldn't
also
lose.
no reason for Kane to. There's that and squishing, local talent. Why were you still promoting Kane?
Didn't they make this match a no disqualification?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I was like, there's going to be a reason as to why they're making a no disqualification. Either Luke Harper's going to show up, Eric Rowan's going to show up, which that's what we were expecting to happen.
I thought Harper was coming back.
Yeah, but instead it was to have Kane or Randy Orton come out, deliver an RKO, and hobble his ass back to the back.
Well, the reason it
Hobble,
stayed that match, a no DQ match, is because it was originally set up as a no DQ match, like when Orton was still in the match, and it just carried over. I guess
Randy.
whenever Kane decided to. Still,
Gotcha.
there's nothing you can massage this logic and try to put it in place all you want. There's no fucking logical reason why it needs to lose to Kane to tell your fucking story anyway. It doesn't matter.
Kane has to be relevant.
Well, I mean, do you expect the man to beat the devil's favorite demon after taking an RKO from out of nowhere?
You do the RKO after the fucking match. He can, if you want to continue the feud, he goes out after after he wins the match, then you RKO him. It's fucking simple. You can keep the feud going that way. It's no reason why it's DOA. Why it's DOA? How do you revamp this guy's career? You can't, because he can't win a fucking match.
Killed him so many times. And like I said, he was going to win the Orton versus Wyatt matchup. He won via countout because it had no importance. But then you throw him in against Kane and whatever.
Yeah, he's spooky. He's spooky Dolph Ziggler. He doesn't fucking matter. He can't win. He's
spooky Dolph Ziggler.
He's spooky Dolph Ziggler. His fucking career is over.
He's going to be that guy that the fans are always behind. Doesn't matter what he's in. What's going on.
Are the fans still behind? The fans have long given up on Dolph Ziggler.
No, the fans are still there for Dolph Ziggler.
I think they've given up on him. They may be like polite applause to Dolph Ziggler, but no one thinks he's going to win a fucking match. Nobody thinks he's going to win a fucking match.
Do you not listen to the reactions that he gets?
Sounds like bullshit.
You think they're piping that in?
I don't know, man.
They're doing it live now. You can't pipe that in.
I don't know, man. I don't believe that. I don't know where these wild reactions for Dolph Ziggler that you seem to think they're coming from.
Every week he walks out there.
What? I don't know, man. Sounds like wishful thinking on your part. I don't know.
It's not wishful thinking. I'm not the biggest Dolph Ziggler fan. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying
he's getting a huge reaction every time he goes out.
A huge reaction. I don't know if there's a wrestler on the fucking roster getting a huge reaction right now.
Kevin Owens.
Maybe Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
So you're gonna equate? You think Kevin Owens equals busted up ass Dolph Ziggler?
I'd say
they're getting the same reaction.
If Kevin Owens is getting a 100% reaction, Ziggler's getting a 90.
Whoa.
Man, your ratio is way off.
I'm just saying.
I think it's more like if Kevin Owens is getting an 85, then Dolph Ziggler is getting like a polite 60.
Come on. No, it's got to be higher than that.
I agree with him.
I think you're nuts.
All right. I mean,
nuts.
that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, I do agree that they're cheering for him.
I'm not saying people aren't cheering for him. I'm just saying it's not passionate. I think you can win a match cheering. It's like, oh, we still like this guy, right? All right.
No, when his music hits, the crowd pops. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like him. He's gonna lose though.
That might be the case, but
he ain't win that title.
He's still getting that good reaction. I'm just saying.
He's still getting that paycheck.
Getting that money. That's right.
Man, I don't know. I don't think I can agree with that.
Now, he didn't get as big of a reaction as the two stars of the night, that being Rhino and Heath Slater, because that kickoff moment.
What did you say during the pay-per-view? He goes, man.
That was during the kickoff?
Was it the kickoff, or what was it where you saw it's like we're relying on Rhino and Slater?
No, my point was if Rhino and Heath Slater are your number 2 from the top match, your roster too fucking thin to be doing 2 different pay-per-views.
Yeah. Or at least a 3-hour pay-per-view at that.
Now, I think I hit the nail right on the head. I think that the Rhino and Heath Slater stuff's been really entertaining, and the crowd has really taken to him, and they've gotten those guys over nicely.
The lovable loser.
But
who wins?
I stand firm to my statement. As entertaining as the stuff has been with those guys, if Rhino and Heath Slater is your number 2 from the top on your fucking pay-per-view, your roster's too thin for its own fucking pay-per-view.
But Rhino and Slater are Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Man Beast.
Beauty and the Man Beast. Slater being the Man Beast. Rhino being the Beauty.
I mean, they did the right thing for once. I thought they were. I was like, surely they're going to see the logical conclusion to this story and have to get fancy and dick around with it, and something ridiculous is going to happen. But they just told the story that they should have told, and it was fun.
Yeah.
The match was not great. It was fine, but the right team won, and honestly, I thought they were going to lose it on SmackDown.
No, yeah,
lose the Ascension, like their first title defense.
I thought, yeah, like, oh man, no.
It's like, here comes the Ascension, the people that were eliminated in the first round, but they're going to win the titles.
Because how they came out and Heath was like, no, you can't make us do it right now. I'm like, oh, they're going to lose. But then I was like, no. Why would they put the belt on the Ascension?
Yeah. But at least the contract has been signed. Heath Slater's officially on SmackDown now.
Gonna get that double wide.
Get that.
Collecting a
his daughter's gonna get a tongue.
Sounded like you said tongue from over here. What did you say?
Tongue. Yeah.
Oh.
His daughter's getting a tongue.
I recall now. But I had forgotten that, and then it just sounded and then I just sounded.
Why on earth would he be buying a tongue? Where do you even get one?
I don't even. That's not even what I was thinking. It sounded like he's like his daughter's gonna be getting that tongue, and I forgot that was a thing that they established. You know.
Yeah, she getting that tongue.
I was like, I know that they're doing like a sort of like rednecky backwoods thing.
Oh God!
But Slater, but that's a little too.
That's a bit of a stretch there. I don't think they'd go that far. Oh man! Wow. Okay, so AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose. Tyler called it on this one. He picked AJ Styles to win. To be honest, I don't think that the build was big enough to justify it, but I'm not going to complain about the results. AJ Styles, the new WWE World Champion, and took a low blow to get the job done. And what did you guys think about the match?
Well, I don't think it was enough. I don't think there was a lot of build to it either, but I'm sort of over needing build for this because AJ Styles has been red hot and Dean Ambrose has been floundering.
Yeah.
It was the right time. They just needed to get the belt off Dean because it just felt so blah. And so AJ's red hot. He's having good fucking matches with everybody. He had a good match with Ambrose, and Ambrose has not been that impressive since having the belt, neither in ring or character wise. And AJ's over. He has good matches with whoever the fuck he wrestles. He's just the right guy. The match started off a little slow, but they pulled it out in the end. AJ, I would say largely due to AJ. Man, the dude just doesn't fucking have bad matches. I mean,
It isn't that quick, though. He hasn't been in WWE like a year, huh?
No.
He already has the title.
Debuted at the Rumble.
Freaking awesome.
It's just it's still mind-blowing to me that, as anti other corporations as Vince has been in the past years, for him to bring in AJ Styles, who was the face of TNA. Like, you see TNA, you see AJ Styles. And then he went off to New Japan, became the champion there. Then he came to WWE, and they put the belt on him? Like, that just blows my mind. Like, it'd be like them bringing in someone from WCW and giving them the title. Like, it was just...
I'm not... this is going to sound bad. I mean, that's awesome they put on there, but, like, there's really, 3 top guys on SmackDown?
Yeah, I mean, their choices are kind of limited, but, still, it's just... the fact that AJ Styles is in the WWE blew my mind.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And the fact that they gave him, air quote, the most prestigious title in all of wrestling, I
mean, Tyler's got a really good point, though. If you look at that quote-unquote top tier of SmackDown guys,
yeah,
you get 3 deep and you fall off a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
I mean, do you kind of... I mean, I know this is not chronological, but do you guys want to kind of talk about SmackDown?
Yeah, we can phase into SmackDown because it is still relevant. I did like the fact that John Cena came out, made a claim saying, "Look, you've been holding on to something that I want, or you are holding on to something that I want. I want to be in that same discussion as Ric Flair." Like, I really dug that.
The whole promo of them talking, like, I was digging it. Like, all of a sudden when Ambrose came out and then Cena talked to Ambrose, it wasn't like regular Cena how he
like,
talks.
I'm calling you out.
He called him out, like, all of a sudden, because he doesn't technically have no beef with Ambrose or whatever. He goes, "Oh yeah, you get mad at him, kicks you in the balls," but you had him on the ropes, and like how he was talking, I was like into it.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh wow, that was really cool."
It was a nice change of pace.
There was some stuff that I didn't like about it. I didn't like Cena's whole when you were on the Stone Cold podcast, and he said whatever, and he's like, yeah,
you need to be more edgy, and then you came out and you do your normal shtick.
That shit doesn't have anything to do with like in storyline kayfabe shit. Like,
does it?
Don't this whole like you haven't like stepped up and been like the guy since the Stone Cold challenged you to be. Yeah, in kayfabe terms, he has. He's the fucking champ. He won the matches. He won the title. In quote unquote in storyline, he stepped up. He's the fucking champ. I mean, yes, he did lose that his title just then, but it was a low blow.
I think it was more of a pushing the envelope kind of thing. Like he came out and, like you said, his character's been kind of floundering. He hasn't really done anything to get people talking, to get people buzzing.
Right, but my point is in the fake land of wrestling, it doesn't. How edgy your fucking talking is doesn't matter. It's like he won matches. He was the fucking champ. He stepped up. He was the fucking champ.
Right.
Like I'm sick of like storylines about like Dolph Ziggler wanting to steal the show. No, motherfucker, you should want to win your fucking matches.
That's true.
I'm tired of people talking about like we're gonna have a good match. No, you don't want to fucking have an entertaining match. You want to fucking win matches. You want to win titles. You don't want to care. You don't care how fucking edgy your people perceive you. You want to fucking win. Like, I'm tired of them, like, sort of, they're sliding in the wrong stuff from the, there are things from behind the curtain that you can take out and you can incorporate and make interesting and make work, but they're taking the wrong shit. Like, don't tell me about how Stone Cold said you should take more chances so you can be more entertaining. He shouldn't care about being entertaining. He should care about winning titles, which he fucking did. So how is he a letdown? And he lost it on a technicality because he got kicked in the nuts. Like, I'm tired of the Dolph Ziggler stealing the show. No, you just want to win your fucking match. Let's make this about fucking winning fights and stop, like, they really liked my match. I stole the show, even though I lost 89 of my last 40 matches. I'm in the fucking negative here. Like, I don't care.
I love how this rant has gone from like directed towards Ambrose to no, fuck Ziggler. It's all his fault.
Well,
it's a good example. I get what you're saying, though.
It's not really about Ziggler, although he's an easy fucking target. It's basically the rant isn't even about Ziggler or Ambrose. The rant is about how they are being presented to the crowd.
Yeah.
And that's not 100% on them, even though some of it is. But I don't like how Cena made it about that. I don't like how Ziggler makes it about how entertaining his matches are.
But he steals the show every night.
Yeah.
That's why he gets those pops.
Show me that you belong here. You know, I got stuff to prove too, but show me you belong here.
He was Colonel Sanders, damn it.
Yeah, well, that's a highlight for me. I'm with that Colonel Sanders shit. I mean, the chicken in the commercial, not the
Miz was the chicken.
Crusty old white plantation owners or whatever. I'm not with those dudes. I mean, I like that commercial and I like the chicken from KFC.
Good clarification.
Chicken Little.
I don't want anyone to get it twisted.
Yeah. Hey, he likes the real Colonel Sanders.
Is he a real person? I guess so, right? Huh?
Yeah.
I'm sure he was a racist old white dude.
I was about to say that. He was like, the original was a racist old bastard.
Yeah. I'm not with that part of it.
He was a colonel.
Just like the chicken, dude.
Racist
the commercial's
colonel.
pretty good. Who doesn't
Colonel
like
racist.
You like KFC?
It's all right. I haven't had it in years, but it tasted.
Years. Rank the fast food chicken places for me. I want to.
There's only like two. Oh, there's more than two.
Churches, Popeyes, KFC. That's 3 right there.
And there's
Frenchies.
There's
Frenchies?
Chicken Express.
There's a Frenchies inside HEB right here.
I don't even know what that is.
It's pretty
Either.
good. You'll have to try it one
Chicken
day.
Express.
Yeah, Chicken Express. All right.
So it's 4. 3? 4? 3? 4?
I'm in the same boat with Tyler. I haven't had KFC in a very long time.
What's wrong with you guys? KFC's good.
Well,
no, I mean, it's good.
I hear bad things about the one in Mid-County.
I haven't had that in a long time. Or Popeyes.
Popeyes is my favorite.
I think I like Popeye. I said Popeyes.
Popeye.
I like Popeyes and I like KFC. Churches, I could take or leave.
Yeah.
I'm not big on churches.
Yeah, and I also haven't had churches in a long time either. Good Lord.
We just didn't
But I
go
just
on
had Chicken Express.
chicken run. do all that madness. Next time for the podcast,
Well-
y'all come up a little early. Walk over to Frenchie's, get some of that.
Is it good?
I love it.
And also the reason why I eat Chicken Express because it's just like not too far from my apartment. So.
Yeah. So
Convenience.
it
I like
is.
Raising Cane's too. Even though I don't think it counts because it's just chicken tenders.
Yeah,
and
it's not.
So,
Forgot.
I don't know where we're
Dolph
going.
Ziggler sucks.
I feel like Ambrose is gonna go heel and feud with. I think they're going to
Cena.
keep the title on AJ. I think he's going to go heel and feud with Cena. Does that seem like what they're teasing to you?
a little bit.
Then what would happen to AJ?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who the fuck else do they have out of those three people that are main eventers? Who do you feud with?
Kane.
Kurt Hawkins.
Shut your fucking mouth. I gotta get a drink on this Kane.
If you need one, there's one in my fridge.
Hey, which
of the
roster
Dr.
is
Pepper
Big
Cherry.
Show on?
I'm not even gonna fucking humor your Kane shit. I'm leaving.
What roster is Big Show
I
on?
quit the podcast.
That's a good question. What show is Big Show on? Raw? Is he on Raw? I think he's on Raw.
We got AJ Styles versus the Big Show.
But how great was that moment where he was like, "I'm calling you out for, everything that Stone Cold said." This is our chance to say how we really feel.
I mean, I really liked the thing I really liked about it was when he turned around and was like, "Hey man, you can't say that because he kicked you in the nuts because you had him hanging on there."
Yeah.
But no, his attitude, because in my opinion, all of a sudden, like, what would Cena have to say to Ambrose? He has nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he just kind of called him out, and I was like, "Whoa, this is different than like, hey, Goofy, Cena."
I mean, it was good because Cena came in fired up. He's
Yeah.
like, "Look, you've got something that I have not had in quite some time, and I want to be the 16-time champion."
Because really, what I thought would happen is,
Gracias.
okay, so Ambrose is talking shit on AJ, and then Cena says something, and then Ambrose will, like, get out of my business, and then Cena will say something goofy and
Oh,
kinda
he'll get out of
pander
my
to the
business.
crowd and all that. But that's how I thought it would go.
Yeah. I felt that SmackDown was very promo heavy. There was a lot of talking and not a whole lot of wrestling.
Do you guys think there's any chance that it sounds like Cena's after the Flair record for title wins?
I liked that. I like the fact that
Now
he
they're
came out and
finally
said
addressing that.
Well, my thing is they're going to give it to him sooner or later. He's a WWE guy through and through, and if anyone's going to hold that fucking record, it's going to be a WWE guy. As tight as Flair is with Trips, that record's going to Cena. So is that now or is that later?
I think it should be later. Give it a little time for AJ to.
I don't want to see them fuck with AJ so
Yeah.
fast.
And also,
You
I
can
feel
have
like
him win at Mania for all I care.
Speaking of Cena, you see him give him the 16 times. Do you see them later on give him the 17 times and passing for
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's gonna that record's his. Fucking bank on it. Did you guys come up with someone for AJ to feud with while I stepped out?
No, we
Show.
kind of went back to the segment, but
We're like,
yeah,
what
they are
show
kind of
is Big
short.
Show on?
I mean, for AJ, shit, man. I mean, they brought in Jack Swagger, so they'll maybe they build him up for a little bit, get him up in that tier, and fall to AJ Styles a couple times.
Okay, who's out injured?
He's a rehab for sure.
Who's all the superstars that are out injured who did not get put on the roster?
Luke Harper.
Luke Harper,
That's it.
only one of note.
Yeah. Tyson Kidd.
I know this
Tyson's
is gonna,
kid's like indefinitely out there.
Yeah.
I know this is repetitive, and I know
Even though
this
they
sounds,
re-signed his contract.
this sounds bad, but I'm serious. What roster is Big Show on? They can come in as a heel. I don't want to see this. I
honestly don't know what.
I think
what
he's
roster-
Raw. Because I think he was on Raw while Kane was on SmackDown.
God knows you can't have them both on the same fucking brand. I don't know if
But then-
I don't know if it's a plus that if you really didn't like him, you could skip that brand altogether, or if it's like better for them to be like evened out on different brands.
Yeah. They try and
Okay.
keep the big men.
I'm really trying to
separated.
think of who else.
You got
'cause
Braun on one side with Big Show and Mark Henry. Then you got Kane and Baron Corbin and
three
whatever.
top
Rowan
guys.
and Harper. eventually.
Yeah.
Because I could see. Well, no, they're both. I don't know.
You sort of touched on the swagger stuff. So what did you make of all that?
I felt it was very rushed. There was little to no build on it. On Raw, he had the matchup against
Mahal.
Yeah, Jinder Mahal. He lost that match. Goes backstage. Hey, we all know your contract's coming up. And then he kind of cuts him off. And then the very next night, he's like, "Oh, my contract's up. I'm on SmackDown now." Like, it just seemed so sudden, and it seemed so soon to be having people jump over to the other brand.
I think it works for it to be sudden, and that he was, I'm done here, but I'm down here. I think that works fine, but it does feel like too soon after the draft to flop guys.
Yeah, and the crowd didn't really seem to be too far into it, just because he hasn't been on TV in weeks/months.
Well,
So
this is a raw topic, honestly, but just because we're talking about Swagger, what did you guys think of the Mahal stuff?
it's something
piece.
for him.
To me, it was like, we're gonna bank on the fact that stupid Americans are too stupid to realize the difference between Hindu and Islam, and sure enough, right off the bat, they very
Have him go up against the all-American American.
Yeah, they were like, I bet these motherfuckers don't know the difference between Hindu and Islam, and then fucking right off the bat, not
Even
that,
the Buddhist palm and everything.
yeah, not that people should be Islamic phobic. I'm just saying that is the hot button phobia in America, and that's like, if that's what they're fucking with for sure. But he was doing for sure they were like, I bet these fuckers don't know the difference between Hindu and Islam. And they fucking didn't, for sure. So,
Lord, it's all about America.
So now they're gonna push him, I guess. They're pushing.
I don't know if it was just to get Swagger out the door.
I think it was just for that purpose
because
because
he's been a job guy since he's been there.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you have him win, which is devastating looking at Jack Swagger. Like, dude, he came in and beat Jinder Mahal, and then it's like, oh, well, now you're on SmackDown, so that means you're going to be a big deal, right? So, what would they have done if...
His promo kind of sucked, but he's never been a good talker.
No. But supposedly they're going to be giving him quite a push.
Swagger?
Yeah. At least that's what I read. What I saw.
He's gonna lose to Baron Corbin.
Sure. I don't know. You guys want to talk about SmackDown, Raw, stay on SmackDown? So we kind of
SmackDown.
we already covered the Usos going up against the
I
Hype
only
Bros
brought Mahal
again.
up because it tied directly into the Swagger stuff.
Talked about Kurt Hawkins' video package, where we're just staring at his package.
What was it? Did they? I thought I read. I don't know if it was for that show or another show. He did like a dark match.
Yeah, I believe it was for that show. But I mean, if your re-debut is a dark match,
He's coming in to be a jobber.
I'm sure. They'll probably have him go in there, win a match or two, then he'll lose, then he'll lose, then he'll lose, then he'll be on a tag team, and that'll be it. Oh.
Yeah, sure.
Then we got to see The Miz and Dolph Ziggler have a segment between one another. Whatever. Dana Bryan came out and was going to assign him to a match, and Miz rolls out and it's like,
You
peace.
can't tell me what to do.
I'm out of here. We're going to do contract negotiations. Baron Corbin attacks Apollo Crews before the match even begins.
He deserves it.
That's when Swagger comes out. Fatal 5-way to determine the number one contender for the Women's SmackDown
Did you
Championship.
see that coming?
I figured as much because they want to make a new star. Nikki Bella's established. Natalia's established. It could have gone to either Carmella or Alexa
Carmella's
Bliss.
wrapped up with the whole Nikki Bella thing.
So, I mean, Alexa Bliss, one of the most obvious choices.
What she do? She goes like this?
Huh?
Alexa Bliss.
She does a little, because she has the skull hand or the skeleton hand.
She goes like this?
I don't know. Maybe.
She crosses her eyes.
So, yeah. Then we saw Slater and Rhino defeat the Ascension.
Man, I like Bliss. I think they have something with her. If she just keeps continuing to get better.
Yeah.
I think I said this before, and I hate to. You know what? I don't hate to repeat myself. I do it all the fucking time because I'm stupid. I think.
Hey, what do you think about Dolph Ziggler?
Well, I got a lot of opinions on Dolph Ziggler. You want to hear these? I think she is what they think Dana Brooke actually is. I think Alexa Bliss actually is what they was hoping Dana Brooke would be.
Yeah. A fresh new talent and going to progress very well.
She's still inexperienced, but she's going to get better and better.
Yeah. What are y'all thoughts about the whole Dana Brooke thing? Like, are they trying to turn her baby face? Like, what are they doing with this?
I got a lot to say about that match. Are we going into Raw?
Let's talk about it.
Okay. Why is Dana Brooke in that match, if not to take that pinfall from one of the other two?
Yeah.
Why? First of all, that was a double fucking pin if I ever saw
I was
one.
going to say that as well.
Second of all, if it was an unintentional double pin, why the fuck is Bayley taking that fall and not Dana Brooke? You got all the time you want to do the Dana Charlotte thing. What? Why is Dana Brooke in that match if not to take a pinfall? And do you think they're gonna? You think that was a fuck up, or they're gonna reference it later? Like come back and be like, "We reviewed the tape."
Oh, I would like for Bayley to come out on
if
Raw.
Not, Dana Brooke's the winner, and she should be like facing Charlotte because they eliminated each other.
Well, it wasn't an elimination; it was just a triple threat match.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
I would like for Bayley to come out and be like, "Hey, Mr. Foley, you know, I did lose that match, but if you look at the tape, you saw that Sasha's shoulders were down too." So I think we should either have a one-off or make it a triple threat because we both deserve to be. I deserve to be in that match because I pinned Sasha and Sasha pinned me. So whatever.
I mean, but please tell me you agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why is Dana Brooke in that match if not to take that?
Exactly, or to have her be the surprise upset and get the win, which would have been foolish to do.
Right.
But knowing the WWE, it's something they would have done.
Yeah, I don't know why there was like a lot of stuff with all the moving parts of Charlotte and Dana and Sasha and Bayley. There's a lot of things they could have done, and they came up with the exact worst concoction, and they went with that. It's like, what is the most wrong thing we could do in this situation?
It's like, hey, let's take the match that was like the match of the year, the two combatants of the match of the year from last year, put them in a triple threat with Dana Brooke, and not have Dana Brooke be involved with the pinfall at all.
I mean, you can go if you want to do Bayley.
Like, we know what both of these ladies are capable of. We'll throw in Dana Brooke in there as a wild card, and Dana Brooke's not going to be involved in the outcome.
If you want to do Bayley and
good.
Sasha, you can do that.
Yeah.
But you don't have to pin. You don't have to have them pinning each other in a three-way on Raw to get there.
Yep.
You could just fucking do that feud.
I mean, Jesus, these two ladies headlined an NXT takeover, the 30-minute Iron Man match.
You know what's a good reason to have them feud? They both beat the champ, and they both think they have a claim to the title.
Yes.
You can just have them have a fucking feud and decide a number one contender, and then you can do that little stupid Dana Brooke shit with Charlotte in the meantime. And you know what? You have to do something so fucking stupid by giving away your pay-per-view finish by having the two hottest acts pin each other on fucking Raw. That's dumb.
It's amazing how that never makes it to air. Like, the simplest logic never seems to occur.
Hey, I got a good idea. We're going to do this.
It's just...
it's a good idea. Let's go with it.
Wow. I mean, my God.
Brilliant.
Sticking on the topic of the ladies, I did enjoy the Nia Jax, Alicia Fox beatdown. I mean, it was impressive. They made Nia Jax look like a complete monster, literally throwing Alicia Fox around like a rag doll, spearing through the little barricade. It was a nice spot. They don't let the ladies do that. So,
well, they don't really have a woman that you would consider a power wrestler.
That's
up until
true
this
too.
Point. So, I mean, it makes sense.
Got Dana Brooke.
Well,
She must.
I don't know. I still don't know that I consider her a power wrestler.
Yeah.
She doesn't wrestle with a lot of power moves.
Right.
But I mean, if they're gonna make, it's good to have a varied style between the roster. So if they're gonna make Nia Jax the power wrestler, cool. Then give her the power woman spots. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
We see that spot a lot with the men, but I don't think we've ever seen it for the women, so it's not as bad. It's really egregious how many times Big Show and Mark Henry have done that fucking spot. But at least, it's the first time she's done it. So.
Or Big Show and Kane, or Roman Reigns and Kane,
Right.
or Roman Reigns and Big Show.
Anybody with a spear,
Roman Reigns and Mark Henry.
Anybody over 300 pounds, anybody with a spear, they've done that fucking spot.
By God! So, so that was a no contest. Bo Dallas going up against the local talent. Local talent got a little bit of shine, but in the end, It was all Bo.
We forgot not that we have to go back to SmackDown, but they let that one dude with the Offspring tattoo.
Yes.
They brought him back.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was pretty funny. Brought him back and then had Miz take him out for the main event.
I really thought he was going to be part of the main event. I was like, oh, this is cool.
That would have been pretty funny if they would actually have done it. Sticking on the topic of a SmackDown, what did y'all think about the Orton Wyatt promo? Lights go out, lights come back on. Oh my God, it's Eric Rowan. RKO out of nowhere. Lights go out and go to commercial.
Yeah. I'm not very entertained by Randy Orton, and I'm not very entertained by Bray Wyatt.
Okay.
So if you add them all up together.
What if there was a match between Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, and Dolph Ziggler?
What if there was a way for those guys to somehow steal the show?
About to steal you in your jaw.
Steel fists.
And what, he ended up doing an RKO to
Eric Rowan. And then the lights go out and we go to commercial.
Hey, I can still do RKO, guys. So we do RKO.
Once again, they try and build up the Wyatt family after dispersing them for several weeks, and now you have them come back only to get RKO'd and go to commercial.
We need Braun.
Speaking of Braun, no Braun this week. Sad face. Yeah. I saw a statistic that said that
Braun?
New Day are approaching Demolition's title reign.
I don't know the numbers. How close were they?
I don't know. I don't remember the specific numbers, but they are getting closer, obviously, day by day to it. So I wanted to see, do you guys think that they would let the New Day surpass Demolition as the longest reigning tag team champions?
Why not?
Or do you think they can hold on this run that they've got?
I think it depends on. I'd have to see like how close they are to know for sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna do some research or something like that.
I mean, what are we talking, a month?
Well,
or
I
less?
also feel like
I would assume a few months.
it could be
at
soon.
least.
I feel like it could be soon. They're going to drop the titles. To
Yeah,
the
I mean,
club.
honestly, I was assuming they were going to drop them at the next pay per view, the Clash of Champions. I thought they were
Clash
dropping
of Clans.
that too.
Wow.
Nikki Clan or whatever bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah. Clash of Clams.
Clash of Clams. That's right. You know all about it, don't you? Let's see. Championships and
That made me think of
accomplishments.
like, never mind.
What?
Think about what?
Some stuff.
We'll talk about it later. What are you looking up?
I'm trying to find the information for.
We're not good at stalling.
Yeah. God.
Do. No. Come on, man.
Sorry.
Do it. Did you find it?
No.
You know you're not still in the show.
No, of course I'm not. Highlight reel: Sami Zayn, Chris Jericho.
I like that backstage segment, man. I chuckled when he's talking to Tom Phillips.
He's an itty.
Well, he goes, no, what is he? He's a stupid. No. And then that goofy look he gave him when he pointed at him. I watched that clip like 3 times.
Yeah, man. It feels nice to like Jericho again. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a little weird because I've gotten used to like disliking Jericho for a long time.
Yeah. He's been an active like turnoff for me for like the past 2 years at least. And maybe more than that. Maybe back since the Punk stuff. Back since he came back.
The first time?
Yeah. Not the first time, but
one of the times.
The most recent comeback.
I don't know when that was.
The time where he his gimmick was he went out, everyone was going crazy, and he didn't say shit, and he just left. Since then, I was like, he's been sucking.
But no, it's just pretty cool. I like
been super entertaining the past couple of months. I've been way into his shit, and honestly, I'm sort of looking forward to Sami Zayn, Jericho. I think it could be good.
Do you know what he is? Say it, Felipe. Did you see Tom Phillips' face too?
He's trying so hard.
Felipe.
His dejected face, every time they're like.
Oh man, I gotta watch it again.
let's see, Demolition. I don't know if they're going off the first reign or the combined reign, but the first reign was 478 days.
What are the New Day at?
I'd have to check on that.
Shame on you. You should have both of them up right now, together, on the same page.
How?
Make it.
Whatever.
Make it or break it.
What do y'all think about Sami Zayn talking about it to Jericho?
I guess that's the
So
new.
we were just talking about, bro.
sorry.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to do some information.
I guess that's the the new.
Obviously,
a
New
few
Day
for-
is past 365. So
Sure.
So
And
go
what is,
go off of that.
It's like 400 and what?
Oh, God. Something.
Go ahead, say it, Felipe.
It. They have held the titles for it. Cesaro and Sheamus, series now 3-2. Any thoughts on the matchup?
So we got 2 more matches.
At least.
Yeah.
Or at max, I
I
should
really
say.
don't have anything to say, I don't think.
Okay. New Day come out and apologize for the previous week for that god-awful segment. And then Gallows and Anderson say, hey, we're done with all that crap. It's back to basics and back to kicking your ass. So Gallows and Anderson end up defeating Kofi and Xavier. And they're like, hey, what happens if this happens at the next pay-per-view in 2 weeks or however long it is? Good Lord.
So that's exactly what they said.
Just about.
They were like, hey, do you think you're going to surpass Demolition?
What do y'all think about Epico and Primo being timeshare salesmen?
Well, I think at least it's defined. You guys were like, what the fuck are they talking about? Why do they want people to go?
Yeah.
Now they're, I guess,
Now there's a reason why they're wanting people to
they've
go.
got pamphlets.
I did chuckle that they included R-Truth on it. That was and this is a nice touch.
You say pamphlets or pamphlets?
Pamphlets. Are you saying Pam or Pan?
No, I'm saying pamp or pamph.
Pam. I'm hearing Pan.
Pamph.
Pan with an N.
Pamp.
Pan fillets.
How do you say it? I know how it's supposed to be saying, but I think I say pamphlets.
I don't think it's pamphlets.
I know that's not how you're supposed to say it, but I'm saying I think I say it that way, even though I know it's wrong. Do you say it?
I say it with an F sound.
Right. That's
Pamphlets.
That's the way you're supposed to say it.
Yeah.
But I think I say
This is
pamphlets.
why English sucks.
I like pamphlets.
I think I say pamphlets.
The pamphlets were palpable. Palpable.
God, for someone who's on a podcast, I'm bad at this talking shit.
There's certain words I can't say, man.
So,
Or I'll mess them up.
So Epico goes on to defeat Enzo Amore. I mean, at least it's given something for the Shining Stars to do. It's building a feud with Enzo and Big Cass.
Shining Wizards.
Shining Wizards and Shining Stars. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. If Reigns...
They had a really good match.
Yeah, they did. And it was one of those things where I'm kind of glad that they restarted the match after Rollins interfered. Mm-hmm. Because then it gave Owens a chance to really shine. I mean, Reigns got to shine as well, but you know.
Speaking of restarting the match, how are you, or where are you at on this whole like Foley GM thing?
Kind of indifferent.
I sort of like it. I mean, I think TV altogether would be better if we could just lose the authority figure, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm at least refreshed that there's like a babyface authority figure, and he's like trying to right the wrongs.
Yeah.
And so I
He's
don't
not
know.
afraid to call people out. And
Right.
like, no, you're the one who messed up.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
I'm
he
sort of-
seems like, yeah, like you said, but also whenever Stephanie is, he's with Stephanie, it's not all the time, but when she do something, he still backs her up too.
Yeah.
No matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah, but it's not an explicitly heel thing that he's doing. It's just like I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt type of thing.
So Owens defeats Roman Reigns first by a disqualification after Rollins disobeys Mick Foley's orders, and then they restart the match, and Owens gets the win via pinfall. So kind of a
Because Rusev ran out.
yeah, that's true too. I forgot about that. So I'm glad that they're continuing that storyline, and it takes Reigns out of that particular title picture and puts him in the U.S.
So they
title
had a
picture.
legit like second wedding. Or is
Yes, yeah, because they went to Bulgaria for Rusev's family.
Oh, so he's really legitly from Bulgaria.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got it tattooed on his fucking arm.
I thought
Does
it was
he?
just for his
Yeah.
character.
Oh
no, that's legit,
it's a shoot tattoo.
Cool.
and he actually speaks Bulgarian.
You were raised in the United States, but you're from Bulgaria.
Well, he might have been born in Bulgaria and came over or something like that. But yeah, they had a second wedding so that the whole family could be involved, which is cool. So yeah, so nice touches for Rusev. That pretty much wraps up the SmackDown and Raw talk. Do you guys get to watch the season premiere of Lucha Underground?
I did.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I did. Well, first I need to make it pretty clear that I am woefully behind on season 2. So
Yeah.
I was so far behind. In fact, I was like, I'm just gonna hop right back in at the season premiere,
3,
and
yeah.
hopefully I will pick things up as I go along. So I don't know why Dario was in jail. I just know that he was in jail. It looks like we're getting a new, like, bigger bad. The guy that's in the car, have we seen him before, or is this like a new big bad?
Kind of, yeah.
Like, you haven't seen his face yet?
No.
Is that the guy
think
who also, you know how there's someone in the police department that is speaking to a higher person too?
Yeah.
Is that the person?
Tell me why Dario's in jail. What happened?
I don't know
The
about
cops
that.
are going after
cops
him.
I know the Joey Ryan thing. I knew it
Yeah.
got set up that they were looking for him, but did he ever make it back to the temple? And if so, or did they catch him before?
Yeah,
he went?
Dario made it back to the temple.
Okay. Oh, that's right, because Baton's
Because
is
he
the champ. That's right.
unleashed his brother. He won the title.
So how did he go to jail?
I don't know about that.
I have to go back and rewatch Ultima Lucha because it kind of just shows him getting tossed into the back of a police squad
I guess
car.
we
or something
assume
like that.
that like the pile of bodies in Baton's wake has like added up to them getting him.
But for
Yeah.
the previews for the new season, I think they unleashed Matanza again. He's like beating the shit out of people.
He was in the opening
Yeah,
match.
he was the-
I didn't see it.
So
Yeah.
who does Cueto know they got him out of jail then or whatever?
Probably that guy, huh?
Well, there was two. There was like a guy that they show who was like some like
He's probably a lackey.
I think I heard someone refer to him as some sort of like congressman or some
Yeah.
sort of like city councilman or something like
Yeah.
that. And then there's like a guy in the shadows who you don't see.
Right.
Who's I'm assuming is the new big bad or whatever.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate from what I've gathered.
So I don't know why he's in jail, but he's out. And it felt, first of all, it felt like season 2 coming back, season premiere felt like a big fucking deal. They were like, all those people, this is what happened. And like, here we are now. This was just like here's Cueto.
Cut to prison, doing
getting out
some
of jail.
chin ups, and hey, you must have friends in high places. And he's like, you have no idea.
Right. So that was a little weird because it felt a lot more subdued than last season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I gather that something between Pentagon and Vampiro played out, and I guess they're not together anymore. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
between
at the
them.
end of Ultima Lucha Dos, Pentagon Jr. came out as Pentagon Dark
Right.
and attacked Vampiro, busted him open, and was like, you're not my master.
Pentagon
and,
Dark?
Yeah, like he comes out in all black
Oh.
now. He is
It's got like a different mask.
He's
I mean, it's like the
transcended.
same mask, but it's like a different
Color
Style.
color scheme. Yeah.
so he's like transcended to the darkness.
I mean, the vignettes are cool. It just felt like a lot less of a big deal than season 2. Season 2 was like we're back, motherfuckers. And
Yeah.
this just felt like hey, we're back, guys.
Maybe I can find like one of those. Here's a recap of everything that happened in season 2.
Right. Yeah, I should look for. I probably
Because
could
I
find
didn't.
one.
I missed a few episodes of
I
season 2
saw
as well.
a preview of they showing like Marty the Moth, and
He's going to war.
Yeah, and he's like going like crazy and stuff like that on
Crazier.
Killshot. Crazier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, like Cueto has this like Wheel of Doom thing where
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
whoever lands on gets a shot at Matanzo, which was Son of Havoc, which I don't know. I don't know where Havoc went between where I unfortunately left off and where he ended up, but I don't know if he has grown as a competitor, but he felt like someone who shouldn't be in title contention. I think that may be the gist of the Wheel people who sort of protecting the title against people who don't necessarily should have title shots. The match was fine.
Who has the main title?
Matanza.
Matanza still has it.
Yeah.
So, Mill did not get his title back, huh?
He has not returned. He's returning this week, I believe.
Well, it'll probably already be out by the time you hear this.
Yeah.
But,
this week or next week.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about that next week, but we're missing it right now. But he wasn't there, but what's her name was there. And, okay, Eva Lise called out, what's her name? Katrina. To set up a match at Ultima Lucha. This is season fucking premiere, and they're setting up, like, season finale. She challenged her to a match at Ultima Lucha Trace, or 3, or however. Did they do it in Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so... And this season's supposed to be longer than ever. It's supposed to be like 40 weeks or something. Like,
holy shit.
Why are they setting up that match now? That's a weird fucking thing to do.
The same reason that you set up John Cena versus The Rock 2 the night after WrestleMania.
Yeah, but that's a little bit different.
Is it?
Well, their thing was like, we're the 2 biggest stars. We're going to have a match at the biggest stage. I've missed most of last season, but at least in theory, they have like an actual storyline reason why these 2 women want to fight each other.
Yeah.
Other than we're whatever. But
we're finally going to settle this.
Who has the trio tag? Is it with Johnny Mundo and PJ Black and Jack
No,
Evans?
I think
they lost it.
I think it's Drago, Phoenix, and
Aerostar.
Nice.
But the worldwide, what's their group name?
Worldwide Underground.
Something like that.
Who's part of that?
That's
Mundo,
PJ Black.
PJ Black.
Okay,
and
that's
Jack
their name.
Evans. They broke fucking. Okay, there was a vignette where they fucking slammed Jack's old partner. Oh, okay, they weren't partners in Lucha
It was
Underground.
Eva Lise,
Yeah.
Son of Havoc, and
They're
Helico.
They tag in AAA as well. So and Helico, they like slammed his like leg in the door and like broke his leg. I don't know why.
It showed why. What it was doing, it was showing why during the matchup that it was Angelico, Son of Havoc, and Eva Lise, when they were still Trios champions, they came out one week and it was just Son of Havoc and Eva Lise. And they're like, we don't know where Angelico is.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing that match, losing the Trios title. So this was a flashback to that, showing as to why Angelico was not there.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, well, like they were laughing
They're like, oh, we took care of that.
it was like a really vicious like scene, and then they cut back to the office where they're telling the story of it to Cueto, and they're all laughing like maniacally. And then he's like, "Hey, you're still not getting a title shot or whatever," because Mundo is in there looking for a title shot.
Yeah.
and he ends up giving it to Taya, who wrestles Sexy Star for the
He was like,
Gods.
the only person who didn't lose at Ultima Lucha was Taya, so you get a match.
They had a match that was okay, I guess. It wasn't really, honestly, it wasn't that great. But what else happened? I guess Pentagon Dark wrestled Ray in the main event, and that was fine. You know, Ray is not what he used to be,
Sexy.
but he's still fun. I don't know. Is there anything else? There's the Marty the Moth stuff.
Okay, so
Marty the Moth, and then Vampiro approached Puma.
So they're still in the middle of. They haven't. How many episodes have they filmed for?
I believe they filmed them all.
For free already?
They've already filmed Ultima Lucha Trace.
Dang. I was gonna say, if they're gonna do 4, I wonder if they're gonna get a Patron back for that.
Maybe. Let's see.
Who knows?
That pretty much.
No wilderness test in Lucha Underground.
Did you guys see the picture that Paige posted and deleted or whatever about it could have been, or it might have been a fake tattoo? I want to say it was a fake tattoo, but it was like Alberto right underneath.
The sheets are saying that she got it.
God, that's so stupid.
So young and dumb.
Yeah. Poor
Speaking
girl.
of the sheets,
She's gonna get her heart broken.
No, it's not that. Well, I've read an interview. Ryback has changed legally his name to Ryback.
Yes.
So it's Ryback Reeves.
Yes.
That's his real name.
Guy's got a Cracker Barrel.
Ryback Reeves.
So, and speaking of Paige, she is set to return to Raw on Monday because her suspension is up.
Papi.
Which means we're going to see Eva Marie come back soon. for those of you who are interested. So now moving on to 2K17 news. Tyler, anything going on?
They just, posted videos, a little bit of gameplay. They showed the breakout scene where you can fight now, like after you beat someone
After
in
the
the
match.
Yeah, you know how there was a breakout last year's game, like someone's walking out and you can jump them, like you could come out of the entrance and jump them, or if they're walking like down, or vice versa,
Yeah.
if you're the first or second person. Now apparently you can,
The match can end, but the action continues.
yeah. So I don't know how long that lasts, how long you can, beat them up. And I also do not know if they can get out of it and reverse you. I don't know that. But
They hit a finisher on you and
yeah,
cut to commercial.
possibly. And they also showed, and I'm excited for this, and this looks cool as hell. And we haven't had this since maybe like the games on PlayStation 2, like Know Your Role and Shut Your Mouth. But you go to the backstage. We've had that in the, maybe for like the PS3, but you can drag them to the entrance. You go through the entrance
nice.
and go to the back.
That's
It's a
cool.
little cutscene that goes through there.
I remember when they first introduced that feature. It was WCW Mayhem, or maybe it was sooner than that. It might have been First Blood or whatever it was. They did one where it's like if you and your opponent get close enough to the entrance ramp, they both run through and you go to some random back room, like you go to the locker room or the parking lot or something like that. I still have that game somewhere.
I want to say that you could do that maybe. I don't know. Maybe I know it's with like Shut Your Mouth, Know Your Role, stuff like that. But
that was the GameCube days, or not GameCube, Nintendo 64, as whenever they first introduced that feature.
But they showed like fighting backstage, how far you can go backstage, and my question is, so does the back change with each
Probably
venue?
not.
Probably not. Because I was going to say NXT would be different and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, then also,
You pass a table with Triple H sitting there.
what's also cool though is, okay, you're going backstage and you throw a guy into a door, he goes into another locker room, then it goes split screen. Like the person is in the locker room and the person's still in the hall.
I don't
It's
know about
split screen
that.
until you get into that main room.
Yeah.
Also, can you do that when you're doing a fatal 4-way if you can go backstage? I kind of doubt
Probably
that.
not.
Yeah,
they probably
it's probably
won't.
single.
They probably wouldn't let you.
Yeah, just like the breakout. Do you fight when you fight people after like a match? Can be a fatal 4-way. It's probably a single match breakout.
Yeah. There's no telling. So I know you're getting pumped for the game.
Oh yeah, man!
Should be
It
exciting.
really feels like time is just going by slowly. I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of stressful things going on, and like I'm so focused on that, and they're
Mm-hmm.
not showing too many details. So I'm like getting pissed, and I'm like, and
Show
time's just
me
going so
more.
fucking slowly. I just
need
want this
to know
game to come out.
more.
I just want to beat people's asses in the game. I want to be AJ Styles. I want to be Shinsuke. I want to be Samoa Joe. I want to be a lot of people, man.
Yeah. So cool stuff. Not too much longer. Just a couple more weeks. You'll get
Still gonna
there.
be slow as
Be
hell.
patient, young one.
I'm trying.
For those of you who are interested, I don't know if you are or not. Whatever. If you are, cool. If not, don't worry about it. I recently did my very first attempt at color commentary, if you're still listening to this. So we posted the video on our Facebook page, or you can go onto YouTube and search Hurricane Pro. It's episode 3 where I do my first color commentary. You'll have to turn up the volume if you want to hear me, because Jim had my microphone turned down before the show and we didn't get to test it out in time. So you got to turn it up quite a bit in order to listen to hear what I have to say. But episode 4 and episode 5 are probably where I really shine. That's probably where I actually started getting comfortable doing the commentary. So if you want to listen to it, there it is. It's there for you to check out.
Hey, is that you on that tag teaming on that Mike's Furniture commercial with Jazzy? Did you do that?
Oh, about the politics, and I cannot be quiet any longer. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that was me.
I just heard it in the hall. I was like, that sounds like they do.
Yeah, I do quite a number of commercials around here. So
But yeah, Daniel is a heel.
yeah, I'm a heel color commentator, and Jim made it very easy for me to be that way just by him existing. So so if you want to check it out, it's there. It's on the Facebook page, or it's on YouTube. Just search Hurricane Pro, and it'll be episode 3. And then in the coming weeks, episode 4 and 5 as well. So that's pretty much going to do it for us this week. Had a lot to talk about, so make sure to chime in if you have some comments as well. You can go and post some questions on our YouTube channel, WNS Video, also our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com and WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. And you can subscribe to our show on iTunes. And we're actually working on getting it on another site as well. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
What?
It was something that I got tagged in, and I went up to Ben. It's called Satchel.
Hey,
It's not a purse, okay? It's a satchel.
Just stick to what I say, and that's.
I'm just letting you know that we might have other options out there to get our show.
Also, if you want
on.
to find us, just go to purse.com.
It's a satchel.
I can make up websites too.
Yeah?
Yep.
Well, this one has an app. Does yours have an app?
Yeah, welcome to dickhorse.com.
Don't ask to see the logo, for God's sake.
.org. .com.org.
Just wrap up the thing.
Okay, yeah, you can find us on
Just wrap it
Stitcher,
up.
Beyond Pod, Player.fm, and Dick
It's soon
Horse.
to be Satchel.
And Dick Horse, just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
The podcast is on Twitter at WNS Podcast. Daniel's at WNS_Daniel. And Tyler is at Tyler_Aber.
You need to make your next Twitter handle Dick Horse. that'll be Noah's next Twitter handle.
Wait, what?
Dick Horse.
So there you go.
Taken. I just looked at it.
For the podcast crew, I am Daniel Herron.
Dick Horse is taken.
I'm Dick Horse.
Is it really?
Yeah, I just looked at it.
Oh, that's sad.
Good.
I'm Doug.
And we will catch you all next week.